Sometimes sadness connects people more than happiness. Happiness is external, sadness is inside. And we do not know how was their relationship before the film. We are seeing the father and son in a situation where mother is under ventilator and there are already financial crises. And also the most complex relationship is between father and son. Because the son is trying to be like his father. I think over here you understand the son's point of view. Son is not a villain.
Yes.
The daughter-in-law is not a vampire. So that's why it's portrayed like that. He ends up being like his father. And the father does not show emotions ever. अगर आपका बेटा है तो आप अपने बेटी को ज़्यादा इमोशन दिखाते हैं, पर जैसे ही बेटा बड़ा हो जाता है आप उसको कम दिखाना शुरू करते हैं. ऐसा होना नहीं चाहिए. I was very fortunate. My father was my best friend. And I also tried things. There is a very famous quote by Osho. It says, if you try, you risk failure. If you don't, you ensure it.
So first of all, sir, it's an absolute pleasure to speak to you. I don't think anyone needs to say this, but yes, an absolute pleasure. One of the people I've always wanted to interview, even though it's a very, very small slot today. Pleasure to speak to you, sir.
Thank you. Nice to talk to you also.
Right, sir. So I'll have just a few very simple questions. So to begin with, I just saw the signature yesterday. So of course, there are many things in the film that really affected me quite a bit, actually. First of all, since you've been involved in this film, not just as an actor, but also as a producer, the first thing I wanted to ask was, what drew you to this film, to the subject? Why did you want to choose this and back this?
Because I wanted to do a subject which will touch everybody's life somewhere or the other, especially after Corona. Because after COVID, everybody was affected by a situation of hospitalization somehow or the other. And my parents were married for 59 years, and my father passed away 12 years back, and he was in a similar situation. We had to sign his DNR because he was not in a good situation. And plus, sometimes sadness connects people more than happiness. Happiness is external, sadness is inside. Happiness is physical. You laugh, you have to stretch your face to smile, then show your teeth, then produce a sound. But sadness का पता नहीं लगता लोगों की. लोग brave चेहरा रखते हैं. They put a brave front. I thought it had a great connectivity, even though our film is in Hindi language, but it can connect with anybody in anywhere in any region. They will connect. So that's why I wanted to be a producer and an actor in it.
Also in the film, even though the film is primarily about loss and grief, the one thing that I really took away from the film was the relationship between the father and the son. Now, I hope what I also took away was the fact that perhaps that is something Hindi cinema generally has not explored as much as one would have thought it would. The first callback would be to something like a film like a Bhagwan perhaps, but even this is something that has been covered a lot in literature, the parent-child relationship. Why do you think this is something we don't see enough of?
I don't fully agree with you. I think there are a lot of films which are made about father and son relationship. I have done so many films about father and son relationship. I think what you're trying to say is not so realistically. Over here, you understand that.
Yes.
I think over here, you understand the son's point of view. Son is not a villain.
Yes.
The daughter-in-law is not a vampire. So that's why it's portrayed like that. And we do not know how was their relationship before the film. We are seeing the father and son in a situation where mother is under ventilator and there are already financial crises. So son का भी point of view नजर आता है. और हमेशा वरना फादर और सन की कहानी जो होती है जिसमें एक आदमी गलत होता है या फिर there is misunderstanding. There is no misunderstanding. He is a practical son but that does not mean that he does not love his mother. And father also understands his point of view. That's why he goes to all of the places. And also the most complex relationship is between father and son. Because the son is trying to be like his father. You know, he ends up being like his father. And the father does not show emotions ever. अगर आपका बेटा है तो आप अपने बेटी को ज्यादा इमोशन दिखाते हैं, पर जैसे ही बेटा बड़ा हो जाता है आप उसको कम दिखाना शुरू. ऐसा होना नहीं चाहिए. I was very fortunate. My father was my best friend. He was my biggest fan and my best friend. So I sometimes do not understand, but I've seen a lot of friends of mine who have a very strained relationship. It's not because there is no love. Problem is, no, both of them don't want to show love. But it's not lack of love, it's lack of showing love.
I think perhaps Hosla Hosla does a great job of addressing something like that.
Exactly.
Inherently, every son wants to be a version of his father, but the son even has a certain problem with the father's name, with the name that has been.
Yeah, absolutely. Wake Up Sid, Ayan Mukherjee's first film, had the similar kind of theme. The father and son did not get along. Yeah.
Right, so because also, I mean, in this film, apart from the obvious, the primary theme here was, of course, loss and the relationship between the husband and wife. Then, of course, there is the father and son dynamic. But also there was just one element of perhaps it came to light, it came to prominence more because of yourself and Mr. Anu Kapoor. But there is that old school friendship that is something that again, I feel I don't get to see enough in Hindi cinema at least. That they're very much in this film.
All your observations are coming out because you are holding yourself from saying that in other Hindi films they come across as cliche.
Yes, sir.
So, I wish it was not me to say, but in this there is no cliche. इसमें वो दोस्त उसको झाड़ता भी है और वो बॉलीवुड एक्टिंग नहीं है इसमें. इसलिए इसमें रियल लगते हैं दोनों. आपने अनु कपूर को बहुत सारी फिल्मों में देखा होगा, मुझे भी देखा होगा, देखा है बहुत फिल्मों में, मगर इसमें ऐसा लगता है यार ये रियल लोग हैं, ये रियल में दोस्त होंगे. वो जाके अपनी देयर इज नो बैकग्राउंड स्कोर जब वो अपनी चेन बेच रहा है, सारंगी वारंगी नहीं बज रही, जाता है प्रैक्टिकली बेचता है. वो कहता है कि इसके पैसे कम लगेंगे क्योंकि तेरे पास रिसीट नहीं है. तो आपको नहीं लगता है कितना कमीना ये बेचने वाला, ये खरीदने वाला. You feel every character is believable, and most believable character also in this is Ranveer Shori's character.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because he is talking about the system. Even Doctor is believable. And then comes in Mahima Chaudhary, who sort of is going through her own tragedy and yet talking about, you know that there is something not right about. But the way it comes across when you see her without the wig, that really, really shakes you. But that scene also makes Arvind decide that he should sign the DNR bill. Okay.
Also, Anupam sir, actually, you mentioned one thing about the realistic acting there. So I just want to digress a little bit. I don't know when I'll ever get the chance to speak to you once again. So it's not strictly about the film, but I have a few other questions. Honestly, I grew up in the 90s. My favorite film growing up was Chalbaz. So you have done several films of that kind where the acting can't be called realistic by any such of imagination. And of course, then there is this and so many other films. So you're still one person. How do you balance these two approaches to acting? I wanted to ask this to you.
I like being an actor. I'm very fortunate to be in a profession where you get to be so many people. And I also try things. There's a very famous quote by Osho. It says, if you try, you risk failure. If you don't, you ensure it. So I'm not scared of trying. When I was doing Chalbaz, I thought यार ये बड़ा फेरी टेल kind of a character हो. जैसे फेरी टेल में विलन होते ना लंबी नाक वाले दांत ऐसा करके, तो ऐसे वैसे करता हूँ इसको. और अगर आप कोई भी चीज कन्विक्शन से कर सकते हो तो सामने वाले को भी कन्विक्शन लगता है. It's the mediocre people in life, in any profession, who play safe.
Also, do you feel, for an internalized performance like this and so many others, is it fair to say that this would take a lot more toll on you as an actor, as an individual, as compared to... Yeah.
Of course, it takes a lot of toll to be able to do a film like The Signature, because your heart is wrenching while putting those emotions. That last scene that I did when I go to, after Mahima Chaudhary in the rain, I go and tell my wife, and finally I've decided that I'm going to sign now. That's it. 4.5 minutes of scene is done in one shot. And in the first take was okay because I knew, so I had to bring up myself to that emotional graph. It tires you. It tires you emotionally, it tires you physically, it saddens you. You remain sad for a long time. You are sad about the loss that he feels. And also you draw either the imaginary emotions, or you draw from the observational emotional memory from your own life. You put yourself, whether you like it or not, you put yourself. I hope not, but if this happens in my life, what will happen? And that brings the real tears in your eyes.
Well, perhaps. Actually, sir, you referenced the last scene, the very last scene. Again, strangely, we were just speaking very briefly about Hosla Hosla. There, the film opens with a dream about his death and, his insignificance, his fears. And
we will not talk about what happened in this film. We will stop here. Because there are a lot of people who are going to watch this film on ZEE5 Global. In 190 countries, I was constantly told that they listen.
Absolutely, sir. Yes, we will not give it away even in our published article. I'll make sure there will be no spoilers in that.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, but
you have a very kind face. I like it. You have a kind face. You have children?
I got married last year, sir. I'm yet to have children. No.
Where are your parents?
They're based in Mysore, sir. I'm also from Karnataka, Mysore.
You're my love.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you. Sir, actually, again, I see my time is coming to an end. I was very unsure if I actually wanted to ask this question to you, but I almost feel that it would be a little incomplete if I don't ask this to you, sir. Now, I think there is absolutely no need to flatter you in saying that you have the legacy very, very, very few people will ever have. But do you feel that your legacy will now come with an asterisk? It will be tarnished a little bit because of just a couple of films you chose to do?
No, I'm very proud of those films. I'm very proud of films that were horrible, that were sad, and because they were part of my journey. There is not a single person in the world, a single poet, a painter, an actor who has not done this satisfactory work. My friend, life is 90% monotony and 10% excitement. It's very important to get up in the morning, have a shower, put on makeup, and do. Work is more important.